Everybody knows it works differently. Right? And everybody accepts it works differently. No is never really the answer. Okay? You just got to talk to the individual. You can work something out. Exclusivity of the Russian language, we just spoke about that. It is a police state. Please, don't forget that. The government are the gangsters. I was there. President Putin's wife bought at an auction a telecommunications company. Had no infrastructure. It was worse than the entire country. Approximately 2 weeks later, apparently, the largest telecommunications company in Russia weren't paying their taxes. The state confiscated the company, put it up for auction. Guess who won the bid? That's Russian business. The gym that I worked out was around the corner from the embassy, little triangle. And a very nice building. Had a Stockman's. Some of you from Europe are probably familiar with Stockman's. And it was a nice place. At the top was a beautiful gym. I went to go one day, and the doors were closed, and it said closed. The entire building, 25 stores. What had happened was somebody wanted to buy that building. A friend of the government, and the foreign owners of the building apparently didn't pay the taxes, so you just turn off the power, turn off the water, and you wait them out till they sell it. That's how it works. The government are the gangsters. You have Moscow and St. Petersburg and not much else. There are no regional powers. There are no regional centers. Okay? You all here are in Denver. I have an enterprising high school student saying Wyoming, hey, I'd like to go to Denver someday. Right? And you have that happen around all the United States. New Orleans, Kansas City, Minneapolis. You don't have those things in Russia. Everybody in the whole country aspires to go to Moscow, and to a much lesser extent, St. Peter. That is where all the opportunity is. And if you don't get there, you don't have a lot of opportunity. It's that simple. Soviet thinking, it is not dead and gone, okay? It's not dead and gone. My favorite example of this, my mother-in-law. First time she had the opportunity to vote, very excited to ask her who she voted for. Of course, I voted for the Communist Party. Who else? The whole concept of the democracy of people is the same thing I've always done. Xenophobia. We're going to talk about this quite a bit. When I use it in this context, I'm talking about xenophobia for all foreigners. But there are some very negative elements of it, I can assure you. Bigotry and racism are significant hallmarks. So let's talk about Russia itself. Let's move into Russia, Russians, and the Russian mindset. The country itself, okay? Moscow and St. Petersburg are very large, very sophisticated, and extremely wealthy. While I was there, Moscow was the most expensive city in the world. It's since fallen off the list a little bit, but still in the top 5. Contrast that with 11 time zones of extremely poor infrastructure. What am I talking about? 20 miles outside of Moscow. 20 miles. Running water and regular power are commodities. And you have that for the next 11 time zones. Let that sink in for a second. 11 time zones of non-regular power and or running water. This normal. You're going to see this everywhere. That's this street. Compare that with one of the most expensive cities in the world. Now you see the importance of getting to Moscow or St. Petersburg. It's often described as a third world country with nukes. I am unwilling to go that far. I am. I would never say that Russia is a third world country with nukes. But quite a few people do. And they do have some basis, some merit to their argument. I am not of that ilk, but you may often hear that. What am I talking to? Understand the depths. I did some work rebuilding an orphanage in what was, yes, they still have closed cities, but Kinsk, 100